Hello everybody, my name is Marko Rillo and I am teaching Strategy and Innovation at the Estonian Business School. And today I'm happy to welcome you at our webinar where we are discussing Digital Product Management MBA program with its different microdegrees. The Digital Product Management MBA program is a new specialization for us, which is put in place in order to bridge technology and business. And it's a program which can be taken either for 1 year or for 2 years or in a modular manner by choosing individual microdegrees. The first microdegree is focusing on digital product discovery and strategy. This is the microdegree where everybody gets the chance to do their self-assessment of their competences so that they could know what kind of skills they are really good at already and what kind of skills they can learn a little bit more. And in addition to that, we're going to build a fully validated product strategy for the digital product. The second microdegree is going to focus on digital product design and development, where all the participants can develop user requirements, then user experience design, and actually code prototypes for their digital products. The third microdegree is focusing on digital product operations and process management. And that's the place where it's possible to see what kind of techniques and skills are required in managing different product teams and how to use data to their best advantage so that we can actually make sense of where we are and where do we want to go. And the final fourth microdegree is focusing on digital product leadership, delivery and change management. And in this microdegree, it's possible to focus on managing product portfolio, on managing change and making sure that your organization is sustainable in the long run and can handle the changes which are happening in the environment. And now we're going to listen one by one, 3 of these microdegrees in detail and then find out more about each and every one of them as you are interested in them. Today we're going to discuss about the microdegree that is focused on digital product discovery and digital product strategy. And with me here at the Estonian Business School video studio, we have 2 faculty members who are here to describe what their plans are for this microdegree and what will they bring from their own experience to the program. So here, first of all, Anna-Liisa Reinson. Welcome, Anna-Liisa.
Hello, very nice to meet you.
And then Mart Kikas. Hello, Mart.
Hi.
So before we start with the description of the microdegree itself, can I ask you to briefly introduce yourself? Because you both have experience about managing the borderlines between business and technology and managing also digital products either in a direct manner or slightly in a more portfolio approach to this. So Anna-Liisa, can we start with you? Can you tell about your background in the field of product management?
Yeah, I think I've been a product person on every single level possible and probably in every position possible so far. I started as a development manager back when a product was not a thing in Estonia, then moved into product ownership, then moved into product management and then product director. So I've experienced all of it, but I would consider myself a product manager and a builder first and foremost.
Okay, what kind of industries, what kind of companies?
I have been in telco. I've been also in insurance. I love these kind of old legacy industries where supposedly innovation is impossible, yet it is possible if you have product managers in your ranks. And also from the public sector, I've led products of the digital e-governance systems.
So all of these examples where this kind of scaling of a product is really important, but you can also start from the zero because there are many things that you can start from the scratch.
Yes, some things you can start from the scratch, but most of product management actually deals in the gray areas where you join as things have already happened and you have a product and now you need to make it relevant to how things are in the world now.
Okay, thank you. And Mart, what about your experience?
Yeah, I've always been a manager never a product manager as such, but I have managed product managers quite a bit. Firstly, I was manager in my own companies. Then I was a manager in one multinational company. And then finally, like, I don't know, 15 years ago, I started teaching. So I do mostly teaching today in business schools in Europe, and obviously at EBS as well as one of those business schools. And I teach typically business innovation management, business modeling innovation, such things. But these are all related to product management because they are kind of around the product. Because when we're talking about product management, really we're talking about managing all the aspects of it, including the business aspect.
Absolutely. So, and can I ask you first to reflect about the most important mistakes that companies or businesses or founders usually do when they start thinking about this? So, Mart, can you be the first one to reflect about your experience? What can be done better?
Yeah, a lot of different mistakes. Mm-hmm. But I think the biggest one really is that, you know, there are steps. There's a product idea, there is product development, and there is product launch to the market. Yeah, and I think the biggest challenge or problem or mistake lies in that companies and people in those companies, they jump from the product idea into product development. But in a way, why you develop product is not that you are passionate about it, that you're it's your hobby. Okay, it might be on a personal level, but on a company level, it's not a hobby. It needs to make a business sense. That's the whole idea. The product needs to make business sense. And before you have validation that the product actually will make a business sense, before that, you shouldn't start with any development, because development is always resources, and quite a bit of resources. It's a kind of big thing. So jumping from product idea into product development without validation, I think that's the biggest possible mistake.
Okay, absolutely. So we developed something that is probably not really required.
Requested, solving a problem, fulfilling a need, having kind of big enough market to support the business. So all those things, of course, yes.
All right, thank you. Anna-Liisa, what have been those challenges that you have met in terms of managing digital products?
I think that I agree with Mart. However, from a different angle, jumping from idea to building is, I guess, the biggest gamble of them all, because you don't know, if you haven't validated anything, what is going to be the outcome, or you haven't actually researched who it's for, whether these people that you are building for, the customers, actually need this thing. However, usually I find that this happens due to phenomena that is in product organizations called the HIPPO, the highest paid person's opinion. So when the highest paid person comes with their idea, then often enough project managers or even product managers jump into already building it. But the highest paid person might also be wrong, and often enough the truth lies somewhere in between. So when you have an idea, you do need to research this to see which angles of this or which parts of this are true, and what else it needs to be as a product in order to be successful. And the product manager there cannot be somebody who just kind of follows orders. They need to challenge these ideas, their own ideas, perhaps their manager's ideas, perhaps the ideas of the customers, to figure out what that solution is. Not faster horses, but rather a car.
Okay, so you're essentially describing that, well, what kind of skills does a product manager need to have, and also what kind of qualities, because you need to be based on data, you need to be somehow based on sort of like examples, but then you also need to have this kind of, self-confidence in order to say that, well, actually, and what is the reasoning. So can you, Anna-Liisa, describe who is the product manager when we are talking about, well, them now? So what is the product management market, so to say, when we're looking at job market, when we're looking at the salary levels? So, well, does it pay off to actually be a product management manager or become one?
It's a difficult question because the job market is quite odd. When you look at the listings, a lot of companies are looking for product managers. However, what I do is I always ask whether this role also has a strategic part of it, because sometimes project managers who are just responsible for the timing and the budget are hired under the term product manager. Product management always involves also strategy. So that said, and I know many product managers are now going to have critical thoughts about what I'm about to say. Product managers, to me, are mini CEOs of their business areas or their products. They need to be responsible for the business success as well as the technical success and the launch and everything out there. So when we talk about a role like this, where you have end-to-end responsibility and where you are truly held accountable, I would say that there is plenty of market for people like that. However, there are not enough people that are able to tackle these challenges. And I had a look at the last salary survey that we had, I think, end of last year. And I saw that junior product managers start from 3,000 euros. However, already mid-level ones with the ability to take on this challenge start from 4,000 or around that. So I think that it's safe to say that it does pay off. But it's a journey to get there.
Okay, so let's now link it immediately to our micro degree. So the micro degree title is Digital Product Discovery and Strategy. And in doing the discovery, well, discovery involves many things. We're discovering the product, but we're also discovering the product manager as a person. And coming to your first course, so Anna-Liisa, your first course is about digital product manager self-discovery.
Yes.
And you already touched upon the skills that the digital product manager needs to have. So what's the plan for the course? So what will the participants get when they enroll and they start going through this self-discovery process?
I think first and foremost, they will be probably very daunted by the task ahead, especially the ones starting the master's degree, not just the micro degree, about everything that they need to learn. However, I think that people don't realize that they bring a lot of experience from their previous career or previous life. So it's very important to have a good understanding of where your current strengths lie and where you have gaps. And even if you are a product manager already, depends on which area you work in or which business you're in, or which kinds of products you are responsible for, because you can't be good at everything. You are good at what you are currently practicing. So it's very important to realize where your skill gaps are. This self-assessment that we are going to go through with all of the people joining this micro degree, this started actually from real life. I realized I was a terrible manager because I had no idea what my product managers could do a year before our annual talk. So I needed to start mapping out how their professional development has been. So this has been worked out through years and years of actually people management. And what I realized was that product managers tend to have imposter syndrome constantly. And the only way to alleviate it is to constantly also give them feedback on what is actually okay in terms of professional skills and where our company is going and what my expectations as a manager are, and for them to also gain the tools to tell themselves that it's okay by mapping themselves against this skill and kind of self-assessment framework, so they can kind of fight this imposter syndrome. Realize.
Okay. So in other words, when they do the survey, they
Yes.
might realize that actually I'm pretty good.
I think they will still be self-critical because usually the people that gravitate toward product management want to be the best at everything. But they will realize that they have a lot of strengths they did not know about.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is not a random survey.
Yes.
This is based upon this competence model of a product manager, yes?
Yes, exactly. This is for product managers specifically, not just in general.
Okay. All right. So thank you. So let's come to Mart. So your course subject is essentially, well, product research, product market analysis, problem validation, and strategic positioning. So when somebody joins this program, so what will they gain as a result of this, well, course?
Short answer or long one, and of course short one here. They gain a lot, but of course first and foremost is validation.
Right.
As we discussed, the product idea by itself is not valuable. The business idea, which of course involves the product idea, is valuable, potentially valuable. And what they gain is this kind of overview about how to first get to a good product idea, how to validate it, how to validate a good business case or business idea around it. These are two different things, really. And what's very important is that they don't, of course, they learn about something, yes. But more importantly, they learn through something. They learn through frameworks, through methodologies, through tools, by using them. So they get skills. And of course, those skills are aligned with your competence model. They get skills that they lack or they have gaps in against that competence model. And that's what they get. They get better at being a product manager in the sense of having the competencies to be one.
Okay. Will they have something tangible also by the end of this, well, course? So
I'm not sure about tangible because it is digital product. So if we call digital tangible, then of course they will have something tangible. They will have at least working prototypes that they will pitch. They will show us there, and they have also an outline, the business case around it. They have described why should the company, the organization, build this product. Mm-hmm. So they have built a business case around it. They have mapped the opportunity as such, and they have been successful in defending it, because it doesn't stop at having something in your laptop or iPad or any in files. It stops, or actually kind of in a way starts, when you have been able to convince others to really put resources into it, develop it and launch. Then it kind of makes sense. And as the product manager typically is not the CEO, but a mini one, they need to convince those stakeholders and people with budgets and decision power to really put resources behind and make it happen. So this kind of, in a way, convincing skill or sales skill in that sense is also very important. So in a way, they kind of cover the whole journey from the idea to making some prototypes, to testing, validating, to kind of having a working prototype at least, and then really pitching, kind of selling it to the, let's call it the management board.
Okay, all right. So that's essentially what we are trying to achieve by the end of this, is that there is a validated business idea, at least in place, based on which we can actually start, well, developing the digital products which will work. And hopefully deliver value to the users and customers where there is a business.
Yeah, absolutely. But then before we talked about building products, and I said jumping from an idea to building product without validation is not a good idea. But then, of course, during that validation, you build a lot. But you don't build a product. You build prototypes, mock-ups, you build MVPs, minimum viable products, but those are not minimal versions of your product. These are the tools to validate, tools to test your hypothesis. Mm. There is a lot of building in validation. Mm-hmm. But that happens before the product building.
Okay. So by essentially trying to build these things and actually building them, we also get to know a little bit about the product, about ourselves, about the business, and as a result also, well, we are smarter in our future moves as well.
And you're more able to do stuff. It's not about being smart. Of course, you need to be smart, but it's about being able to do something.
Okay. All right. So let's look at also some of the tools that we are using. So there are some of these buzzwords like lean canvas or jobs to be done or different types of books that we are referring, so which have been considered to be really important by product managers nowadays, and well, either using some technology tools such as Atlassian products or Notion. So what's the value of working with this kind of tools during the program? So Anna-Liisa, can you elaborate on them? So what's the practical use of using them in the classroom setting?
I think that you asked about, or you mentioned getting a certain confidence or having a certain confidence. I think that's the goal that we have during this course, to give you the confidence by giving you all the tools. And when we talk about validation, it is not just about validation with the customer. It's also about the business case, whether it makes sense for the company. Because if building something costs a lot and it's not going to generate you any revenue or profit later, it might be very, very difficult for the stakeholders to say yes to it. And I think that part of product management is often missing in companies. This trying to answer why should we do all of this, or why should we build this product in the first place, to the management board or the venture capital investment people, or just to prove why. And now circling back to the tools that we are giving, this is one way of convincing yourself and your stakeholders why this is necessary. My personal favorite is jobs to be done, because it creates empathy for the end user, but also lets you understand which kind of tasks or which activities of the customer or the user need to change in order for this product to be successful, or what are we building essentially in this product. But also lean canvas I use every day, because without a business case, the product is, pointless, unless we're an NGO. Most companies are not. What else? I love prototyping now with vibe coding, because like Mart mentioned, it is not building a minimum viable product anymore. Before, the term was kind of diluted by many different forms of prototyping. Now we can take it as a prototype. Anyone can build their idea. They can get better understanding of the customers and the market by showing them already something tangible, and then having a validated business case, whether this product will fly once you launch. So it's about, oddly enough, building confidence for yourself. So when somebody comes with another idea, you already have numbers to tell them, well, I have this idea and I have validated this and this seems better, or let's validate the other, and you can compare. It's no longer one person's word against another, but rather business case against the business case. That's much better to talk about, no?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So now let's come to the shoes of these people who might be contemplating this micro degree for their career or for starting to build their products themselves. They might come from different backgrounds. So somebody might be a technical person, somebody might be a design person, somebody might be even a business person who is looking for the entry to tech world. So from your own experience, looking back, so are there some interesting stories that you can actually tell or share, well, which would make it easier for them to actually join this kind of journey? So whoever wants to start.
I was communications expert and project manager in an advertising agency. My decision to join the ranks of product managers came from the fact that I no longer wanted to advertise products that were very clearly not designed for the end customer and without the end customer in mind. I wanted better products, and my very naive idea was that if I built better products, then advertising and marketing would no longer be needed at all for them. It's not the case. However, I did discover that my background in marketing and advertising was a huge plus side, or it gave me such an advantage in product management. So like for me, it felt always like a glove that fits perfectly. So wherever you come from, I think you might find that your, again, previous experience will be invaluable in what you do.
I would think of startups, and specifically tech startups, those that are involved with IT and technology. And typically, they have had at the very beginning two founders. Tech founder, who deals with technology and IT, essentially coding, and then the business guy. So, in a way, product development and business development. And more, then we have seen also kind of design founders joining. So there's a trio of three people with kind of different competencies, different skill sets, and they all kind of complement each other. And all those competencies are needed to develop this kind of IT startup, which is essentially is a digital product in the very early stages. There is no organization, no nothing more. So, and when we think of product manager in an established organization, in a way, this one person, not three, but this one person needs to be the kind of, I don't know, combination of the three different people, but kind of, in a way, three different competence areas. Tech competence, design competence, business competence. Not like perfect in everything. It is not possible, but at least minimum level in everything. So I think, in a way, this micro we are going to do will be kind of the place where the person comes, and typically they come from one domain, either design or the technology or the business, and then what they get two other domains, at least at the minimum level, to be able to be that person who is able, in front of the management board of a big company, kind of pitch validated business case for a feasibly built product and defend it kind of from all aspects, not from just one technical aspect or one business aspect, but all those aspects that this is a good idea to really build and launch. So I think that will be the case, that people come from like one angle or one domain, and at the end, they will kind of represent three domains, at least at the minimum level.
Okay, thank you. And as a final question, so what would be your final call to action? Because it's going to be quite a big investment in terms of money and also time to spend your, energy in this kind of studies. So why not just use ChatGPT or any other language models to teach you the same kind of things, or watch YouTube videos, or simply go to one of the open universities where you can also get it for different, quite minuscule sum as a result. So what's the difference of learning these things in the classroom and with other students?
What I like most about this micro degree and the master's degree is that you can either take it as a master's degree, like as a whole, or take it bit by bit by taking one micro degree at a time. I would have done it had I had the opportunity. I remember I wanted some sort of formal training, but the only thing available on the market was the Scrum product owner degree. And after 2 days of studying, I felt like I did get something, but not what I wanted. And I did spend literally a decade reading materials on the internet and watching YouTube videos and trying to understand what is the truth, or what is quality and what is not. Now with AI, it's even harder, because you ask ChatGPT, you will get the most medium of medium answers. And if you've never done this before, it's very difficult to understand what will actually, or what could work. So of course you can do this if you're willing to mix and match it together and like have some sort of roadmap for yourself. However, if you want a holistic idea of what product management is and want a good foundation, then this is where you get the whole picture, either step by step or all together, but it's curated and it's by industry professionals. It's not something where you have to doubt whether this is what works or not.
All right, thank you. And Mart, your final words. Why study this?
Absolutely many reasons, but maybe just two. One is, as Anna-Liisa said, of course you can ask ChatGPT or any other LLM about something, but then where it leads you. Will it lead you to better competencies in those domains? So there is a difference between just kind of asking yourself questions and then designed specific study program, which has been designed to take you as you are and then starting building the competence step by step. Because typically you cannot kind of jump over things. You need to know something or be able to do something before you acquire the next step and the next step. So this is a journey, and this is a design journey that you get all the things that you need before developing the next step. So this is one big difference. And the other big difference is that this is not really, as I mentioned before, about more knowledge. You can get knowledge is free. But this is about skills development. You need skills, you need the ability to do something. And that from ChatGPT, how you get the skills. You need to practice the skills. You need to go out of the building, validate with prototypes, ask questions, come back to the classroom, discuss with your peers, get feedback. That will never happen with ChatGPT. At least not that level, need level, and especially the practice component. You need to practice to get more skilled.
Thank you very much, Mart. And thank you also, Anna-Liisa, for giving overview about what is going to happen at the micro degree called Digital Product Discovery and Strategy. And next in a row, we're going to hear about what is happening in the following micro degree in the program. Stay tuned. Welcome to this micro-degree introduction. We are at the Estonian Business School and we're looking at the micro-degree called Digital Product Operations and Process Management. My name is Marko Rillo and I'm here today to discuss with Mart Parve. Welcome, Mart.
Hi.
And with Eveli Karner. Hello, Eveli.
Hello, Marko.
And in this micro-degree, we have the opportunity to jump into the details of managing operations and data in the field of digital products. And before we do that, it would be lovely to get to know you a bit better. So can I start with you, Eveli? So can you tell us a little bit about the background? What have you done before coming here as a lecturer who teaches your skills to others? So what have you done in your career previously?
Yes, well, shortly. I have over 20 years of experience leading teams, project programs, or just large-scale transformations across different sectors, telecommunication, healthcare, and also public sector. So last 10 years, plus years, I've been working for the IT and technology and been in the roles of team lead for the product owners, development process manager, agile release train engineer, so applying the scaled agile framework, and also heading the whole IT product and systems process framework in Telia.
Okay.
And currently I'm also helping other technology and engineering technology leaders and engineering managers to figure out their people skills in management as well as way of working. So here I am like that.
Okay, wonderful. Great to have you here. And just to maybe dig in the details a little bit. So you have both the technical background in this field, but you also have people background. So how do you combine these two?
Again, you can know a lot about technology. You can know a lot about technical frameworks, agile methodologies, frameworks, but in the end, who does the work? people and the teams. Now, of course, the AI agents as well. However, you really need to have this good grasp of people knowledge and how to coach them through those obstacles they might have. So I try to balance really this looking into the side, let's say looking from the side, how people can maximize their part in this development process.
All right, thank you. And Mart, can you introduce yourself as well? So what's your background in the field of technology, managing people, managing data?
My sort of relationship with technology began around 1987 when I started writing code. I was about 10 years of age then, and somehow I didn't end up in engineering myself. I became a technology journalist, did that for a good 10 years or something like that, after which sort of I not only wanted to talk about the digital products, but also build some. And after that, I've been working with digital products in various capacities for actually, 20 years. At companies like Bolt, Miros, some other technology companies. Currently, I'm working with a number of companies in mainly two realms. It's building products for engineers that write code. So engineers have sort of their work has been writing code, but now engineers are more and more building products that write code on their behalf. So this is something I'm dealing with, and also building AI native services for different companies. Besides that, I'm also a teacher at a high school, Püha Johannese Gymnasium, St. John's School in English, where I'm teaching storytelling with data. So this is about data analytics and how to materialize interesting, engaging, and sort of like messaging based on data that conveys meaning and helps like make good decisions and have influence with that.
That's really interesting, because usually when we are talking about making sense of data, even grown-ups, even experienced managers are slightly struggling. But what you're doing is essentially teaching this already in high school, in secondary school.
This is an IT specialization class at this school, and they want to equip the students with a broad understanding how this game is played, and data is definitely a piece on this game board now, and they have other domains like project management, coding, whatnot, and they see data as one important factor in this game. And so,
right. So that's really interesting aspect to bring into play. So what can we learn by teaching youngsters also to teaching professionals? So we'll see how it happens. But let's now jump and dive right in. So we have all seen projects and products succeed. We have seen the digital products fail as well. So what are the main reasons why we are struggling with managing digital products? So Eveli, would you like to start on that one?
I think every product management and journey is rather different. However, there are some things I'd love to point out. When you scale your processes and your product development, then what is exactly the stage where you decide that, okay, current way of working or current agreements, how we work, are not working anymore for us? So figuring out how to scale then, and what to take as baseline also, and what to start implementing. I think this is something I see, at least in my consulting business a bit, that everything seems to be logical, yeah? We just kind of go on the road. We either take Scrum or we don't take Scrum. We either think we do Agile, and we just kind of go. And there's a lot of missing knowledge how these frameworks, concepts and methodologies were supposed to be actually used in the development process. So everybody kind of skips doing by the book and just does something. So this is actually one of my goals with this micro degree, to give a good overview of these concepts, methods and methodologies, and then figure out with real cases, how do we apply them in real life.
But let's push you a little bit on this one, because there are these different frameworks available, and there are some schools of thought where, well, people essentially say that this one is the best framework for, well, whatever reasons, and they have usually their reasons, they have their experience. And then somebody else is arguing exactly for the opposite. So how do you actually, well, ensure that you have the best tools for the trade, and, well, how do you differentiate between them?
This is exactly what we will actually look into in the micro degree. Because with case studies available, from my experience, we will have some guest lectures as well, and I hope to also include the participants' cases. We will figure out, based on the theories and studies of these frameworks, how should we think of adopting them, what to consider. So the micro degree will be really about kind of this system thinking, critical thinking, what to take into consideration when deciding which way to go and what actually to skip also.
All right. Martin, what is your take on this? So where do products fail and what can be done about this?
So if I had a penny for every time someone asks me why this product engineering team is not delivering, I would have about 8 to 10 pennies now. Yeah. And so when I had less experience, then I went in and started really heavily diagnosing the engineering and product function, probably there is something really complex going on here. But at some point I discovered, when I just walk up to any engineer and ask, I have 2 questions. What are you doing now? And second question, why are you doing that? And if the first answer is vague and all over the place, and the second question is lacking or comes without enthusiasm and full comprehension, then usually there is no point in investigating further, because they aren't doing a great job, because they don't understand what is expected from them. So and what they should do and why they should do it. And now, tooting my own horn here, this is where data can help immensely. So we can see the delivery cycle. One way of abstraction is that we have the insights part. So how do we obtain the information regards what we're gonna do? Then we have the direction part. How do we distill these insights into what it is, how good looks like or how success looks like for us? Then it's the execution phase, and then of course the learning phase of the life cycle. And now data helps immensely to collect insights, distill insights, and then formulate directions that are not just words, but that instill belief and understanding in your team. When you have this direction and the train is not moving fast enough, then there is a reason to look deeper into the processes. And I'm not downplaying the processes, but very often when you ask me what is blocking delivery, it is very often a direction thing.
The clarity of the vision, and so that everyone is kind of aligned. The product managers, the dev teams, the stakeholders. So true. No judgment, I would call it. This is why I love data really a lot, and transparency. With judgments and arguments without data, you can basically say anything and the loudest voice wins, yeah? But is it
And they are saying anything, by the way, in practice. And when you are, for instance, just you are a product manager, you are an engineer, you just want to deliver impact. And there are so many confusing and differing voices around you, and then you sit down and start doing something. So either good momentum in this situation, and now when we go one level above that, we need to have orchestration of the functions. So I'm building this, you're gonna do marketing for this, you're gonna do customer support. So do we understand what is it? Do we have a mutual understanding what it is we are doing and why it matters? And if that's not there, yeah.
Okay, but let's dig here a little bit deeper, because when it comes to data, well, when we are talking about technology-oriented companies, we have loads of data, so we can analyze everything. So we have a mountain of this kind of data that you can take into consideration. So there are some companies which get swamped into this load of information that they are under. But then there are some other companies which choose a particular North Star and they simply say that, well, we are essentially focusing on that one only. And so where's the best balance here? So, or can we say something like this? So how do you make sense of something which is really confusing, or how do you make sure that, well, this one chosen North Star is not, well, leading us to a wrong direction? Maybe it's just a blink somewhere which is not correct, which is just distracting us.
Yeah, I think one should be really careful when selecting a North Star, because like then your best bet and biggest hope is that this North Star moved in the direction you expect it to move. And if you then don't like this situation, then there is like not many people to blame for that. But on the other hand, in order to come up with a good metrics framework, you need to have quite good data granularity, especially when the business or technology sophistication goes up. You oftentimes don't know what are the leading metrics under this North Star, and there is quite a bit of exploration to be done to really discover good data signal and the data availability, data accessibility, the data user friendliness, so that there is, for instance, self-service in terms of how the organization gets to consume the data is actually quite important in the exploratory phase to find these signals in the first place.
Mm-hmm. And from the product management delivery framework side, I would say that if you have in place how you take this quantitative data and mix it also with the qualitative data and have this kind of, you can call them retros, you can call them sense-making sessions, you can call them inspect and adapt, whatever you are calling them, you just need this time. Okay, the data is showing us this. What are we thinking about it? Mm-hmm. Just having this pause to reflect, make sense of it, and figure out that are we still keeping the North Star? Okay. How much are we risking? How much are we risking for 1 month more? Kind of having this really pause to think is, I think, very important in this sense.
And what you mentioned around correlating or comparing the qualitative and quantitative data, because it's like often cases the quantitative data, yes, it's facts, but how to make sense of these facts, and quite often you need to have a human aspect and sometimes even intuitive aspect on top of the quantitative data to even understand like what it means. Reminds me an example. At Bolt, we were looking at how African business customers are consuming ride-hailing, and discovered weird signals from data, but like weren't able to comprehend what's going on there until we spoke to actual African customers, and they explained how they perceive this and what are their main anxieties and concerns about these products. Because from Estonia, making assumptions what this data might mean in the context of culturally quite different users, very hard.
It points actually to a very great stuff about scaling products and scaling product delivery frameworks, that when you have multiple teams, multiple locations, different regions coming in, you need to have this different coordination mechanism as well as these inspect and adapt stuff in order to understand what is going on with the product and product delivery.
Right, absolutely. Thank you. So let's now deep into the particular courses. So Eveli, can we start with you? So your course is called Product Management Operations, Agile Tools and Frameworks. So what is your plan? So what do you plan to discuss in this course? So when somebody contemplates joining the micro degree and coming to participate in this course, what are they expected to know before coming to this program? What do you deliver to them, and what is the expectation that what have they gained by the end of this course?
What are they expected to know before? I'm sure we can onboard someone who hasn't been that much into the delivery frameworks before. So I think this is not a problem how much experience you have beforehand. But let's see. The plan currently is that we'll give a really good view of different operational frameworks.
Can you bring an example?
Agile frameworks will go over Scrum. We'll see when do you apply Kanban. We'll see if you scale the product, in what cases it's logical and it really makes sense to, for example, look into the large scale Scrum. In which cases, if you're already a huge organization, if it really makes sense to apply scaled Agile framework. We'll look also into team topologies. That looks into how the teams are actually organized in order to deliver value. So the idea is actually to kind of give a good theoretical and study background of this stuff, bring in real life cases, bring in guests and really do with a group work and group coaching style of learning to have the understanding, if I am now the product manager and I will not only have one team, but I have several, and the product is growing, what do I need to know of these delivery frameworks? If I need to adopt a framework, what should I really consider when I do it? And what is my, as a product manager, role in this backlog management? If I have a lot of teams, multi-team planning, dependency ownership, and we'll look also what is the data actually that is showing us how is the delivery framework itself working, in addition to the product that is more like Mart's parts. So what the person is expected to receive is really the good understanding of these operational frameworks and a lot of critical thinking, how to apply them in the future. And what I'm myself really looking forward to is that, of course, today there is a lot of AI agentic ways of working coming in. And like last week, I was reading that the Microsoft product team was offering a human AI agentic manifesto. So we used to have an Agile manifesto. So I'm really curious, where will we be with this in half a year's time? Because the micro degree will be in January, starting January,
Indeed.
2027. So we'll definitely include something from this innovative side of product development frameworks with AI agents. So we'll see where we are in half a year's time.
Okay, all right. So let's see how we can evolve and then learn also something new. Thank you. So Mart, can we come to you as well? So your course is called Analytics and Data-Driven Decision Making. So again, the same kind of questions. So what do we expect somebody needs to know before coming to this course? So what do they gain and what's the outcome that they receive by the end of this course?
The scope of the course is to equip the participants with the know-how around data analytics and data-driven decision making to the extent it's expected from and required from product managers. So then you would be able to sort of perform the capability that everyone else from the organization would legitimately expect from you. Now, what would this cover? The main methods of product analytics. There are analysis methods that are quite well spread and standardized, and we start by understanding how digital products are measured in the first place and how they are tracked and how they are analyzed. Probably we will also cover the data engineering part broadly, so that if it happens that in your organization data is not available, then you at least know what to ask from engineering. Could be useful. Now, I hope to blend in practical use scenarios, especially when the students already join with their group assignments or their actual projects. And of course, we will factor in the data communication or the storytelling with data, because numbers are hard. There are many numbers in the universe, and presenting them in a way that it generates influence, alignment, and manages to convey actual meaning is something to be deliberate and methodical about.
Okay. Can I ask you to maybe elaborate some practical examples or stories from your own experience on how data has come up with some counterintuitive or surprising results, so which probably is not something that people have in their own mind. So maybe this kind of surprises might also treat people by thinking that, well, the truth is not always out there, which is intuitive.
Now thinking about it, I recall a story where there was some anxiety around customer support performing maybe on a subpar level. Yeah, and so there was an idea to start actually correlating or analyzing what is the effect on customer retention and revenue per user in case of unhappy, like relatively unhappy customer support cases, so customers being dissatisfied. And then it was discovered that actually the effect of having like a negative experience doesn't have much influence on the like revenue per user. And it was decided not to invest in that. And now I think this is a recurring story in product management. There is some common intuition that everything that is there must be improved. So like this company had customer support. So this customer support sometimes failed, but it didn't fail 100%. There was customer support. And now when doing product management or technology management, you discover that there is some like legitimate seeming pressure on you from all sides. You have something, why is it so bad? Make it better. But now like I could make everything better around me. So like how do I pick at which like segment I actually focus on, because I could like try to improve all of them, but then eventually like none of them would be really improved. So in this case, it was decided based on evidence that the customer support function is not the most impactful investment vehicle in order to increase actually customer outcomes.
Okay, so basically hard data telling us a story that it's okay to be good enough and it's okay not to try to reach for excellence in all the areas.
And imagine how it also helps to sell and propagate the idea. I mean, using data, how it helps to propagate the idea in the organization, because like if these people were not equipped with data, then going around in the company and explaining that customer support, like you don't need to improve customer support, this like probably would not be met in a well-spirited way. Let's put it this way. But with data, it sort of makes sense.
Okay, all right. So yes, it's great that we have the bad customer support because the data supports it. So just to put it into hyperbole a little bit. All right, thank you. Emily, do you also have, from your experience, some surprising stories that you can tell in terms of, well, how the agile frameworks or any kind of surprises have emerged, or what have you learned as a result?
Actually, I was listening to Mart and I remembered that I have had the case where the product management was really, let's say, attacking even dev teams that they are so slow, that their cycle time is so slow, that the feature lead time is so bad. And what we did was that we actually mapped the work and mapped the flow, and then mapped also what happened with the development. And it turned out that actually the maximum waiting time and delays were coming from the product management side, because their original business case needed improvement. Some requirements were needing also kind of rethinking. It's all normal to have it in the development. However, it took them a lot of time, and the developers were already working and they were actually waiting for these answers. So in real life, the feature lead time was mostly influenced by the work of the product management, not the development team themselves. So it was kind of a, let's say, painful aha moment, but we got through it, and cooperation went really well after that, because all kind of realized that they all have the parts to play in the success of the product delivery.
Excellent, and this is something that you can only hear from practitioner stories, because there is no textbook covering this case, because textbooks are usually mostly around happy cases, and this is an excellent solution, and also an example how data doesn't have to come from data warehouse. evidence and data is actually around us. It's a matter of spotting it and understanding what matters in this decision, in this conflict or conflict or whatever subject matter you have.
Absolutely. All right, thank you for sharing these stories. And also looking into the mirror sometimes helps then also seeing that, well, where are the possibilities for improvement? Okay, so by the end of this micro degree, what the participants should have is some sort of 12-month roadmap, strategic roadmap that they have in place in order to understand how to better manage their teams, how to better manage their products, how to handle data. So what is something that they would have actually obtained? So what's the skill that they have in terms of managing these product ops or product operations? So what is valuable that they leave from the program?
It's mostly, I think, the know-how around how data is obtained, how it's processed, how it's worked with, how it's used in communication, so that the student understands what is the game and how this data game is played, and the natural instinct or intuition to always be on a lookout. What is the evidence and data that exists or can potentially exist about this important decision or question, and then being able to find the data, use it, formulate it, and then use it effectively in communication to drive change.
Mm-hmm.
And Eveli?
I hope they really gained this experience that roadmaps are dynamic and they are changing roadmaps, and it's really normal to have changing roadmaps in the future as well. I hope they really gain the understanding how they see, run and manage dependencies, and figure out also the ownership of the dependencies, for example, and the ownership of the final product, because it's very often with the prototype, everyone is happy how it looks, but who owns in the end the final live product as well? So that they have this full understanding of this end-to-end product operations and deliveries.
All right. So before we wrap up, what would be your final message to somebody who is contemplating about, well, whether to join this program, whether to think about, in order to reduce their anxiety, decision anxiety, and also to encourage them somehow think about these topics? What can they do?
I have a relatively recent experience with EBS myself, having obtained the diploma in executive coaching. I think it was last year, and which is not often advertised and maybe not often acknowledged beforehand, is the value that the other students bring to the table, because I think I learned approximately as much from other students compared to the actual program. And considering the contents of this course, this is fairly specific course, and you might expect like-minded people to gather around this opportunity, and I have a hunch that this will be an immensely valuable bunch of people to know and to learn from.
Mm-hmm. I would actually follow with that because I'm a maximizer of kind of people and their skills myself as a leader, and I love to bring everyone's experience on the table and top it out with my own and the guests joining also the program. I would also advocate that I'm rather curious how to make it like a good balance of theory, studies and the practice, and how to be really adaptive also with this everything going on. So in a way, I truly hope that it will be a very good mix of these two, as well as getting this sense of what is actually happening with this AI agentic stuff coming also in, because this would be a kind of a good sense making together with a really theoretical and practical knowledge together.
All right. And thank you very much, Eveli, and thank you also, Mart. And we are now tuned for the next micro degree.
Hi everyone, we are here in the EBS studio with Tarvo. My name is Merle Lindma, and I I do have about 20 years experience in developing learning organizational cultures. And we are here today to talk about digital product leadership, delivery, and change management. Tarvo, do you want to say a couple of words about yourself?
Sure. Thanks for having me here. I'm Tarvo Okmes. I'm a product and tech leader, having 15 plus years experience in several companies. And indeed, I think the product, digital product leadership and change management, we talk about it a lot. And I think that it's a really critical topic or important topic nowadays, as when we think about executing the technology, then usually it fails because organization doesn't come along. So I'm happy to be here to discuss this matter and why this micro degree and the topic is important.
Yeah, we have a privilege with Tarmo to build up the 4th micro degree. And we are here to talk about a little bit about the content, what you could expect to get if you decide to be part of the program. And what do you think, Tarvo? Why this topic matters now the most?
It has been important. I think it has been always important. Why it's important now, I believe the digital product development has definitely got to the next level. We can say it's because of the AI transformation. We can say a better or a faster product market fit what the digital products can nowadays achieve. But I think the most important part here is really about the product complexity and the customer needs and how to survive and manage these expectations. That's definitely one of the key things here. And the second thing is actually the technical competences. What are the trade-offs and how you are actually managing the product portfolio. We're definitely coming back what portfolio means. So I think these are the two key things from my point of view why it actually matters today and why we're here.
Mm-hmm. The way how I look at that one, I'm very people-centric. So I think about there are a lot of people who have difficulties adapting with the environment where the technology is moving on so quickly. Mm-hmm. And the way how I look at that one, if we would have experts building the products, mm-hmm. keeping in mind that there are like half of us, or from the human beings, they might have difficulties adapting, keeping up with the digital world, mm-hmm. knowing that and building the product perhaps a little bit from the different angles, mm-hmm. so it would be much easier to adapt to that one. That would be cool.
Definitely, yeah. I think we are stepping out from shipping the features.
Yeah.
We are more thinking now about what's the value, what's the benefit it actually provides, and how does it actually contribute to your everyday life. So that's definitely key things. I would expect everyone joining this program gets the understanding how to actually run the ideation, how to get the product market fit, the customer view, and then at the end in our micro degree 4, I think they get understanding about the organizational culture, the safety, how to drive the change, and why actually the product and technology both matters.
We have been talking about that one, but maybe you can talk about it here as well. What is actually expected of a product leaders today? What's your point of view?
So I think where I'm coming from, I started as a product person. Nowadays, it's not actually enough to be a product person. You have to actually understand the technology trade-offs as well. By trade-offs, I mean what it actually matters to bring your product to life. So what are the technology choices you have to do? Depends on the product, depends on the company size, depends on the landscape you're operating. Either you're in a consumer landscape or you're in a B2B, the business landscape. So everything matters. So you have to actually understand product and technology. That's for sure. So that's the reason why I think this is what is expected from the leaders. Another thing is that you definitely, if you are a one-man company, as many of the AI companies currently are, you can have one product only. If you are actually expanding your reach, expanding your business and the customers, you are bringing along more products than only that first one or the one you try to actually find the product market fit. So how to actually manage this portfolio of products, how to make decisions which of the products you are going to sunset, how to build the kind of like a frameworks or models to prioritize the products, all that stuff. So I think these are definitely matters.
And then I'm coming again with my human side. When I think about, we do work with products, but at the same time, we work with the other people. And so it takes us back to the communication, how we communicate, how the others could trust us. And on this course, we do talk a lot about as well how to cooperate, how to build yourself up in a way that you could become really leader who could be trusted. It's a lot about personal development as well, I would think, as a person.
I do agree. As product without a proper people or proper kind of like a management skills, it doesn't fly. So you need to actually build a strong culture to execute your kind of like a product and technology you would like to sell to the market. So and building this healthy organization is definitely key.
And it's so difficult.
Indeed.
So in this program, at least, we have balanced both the technological side and building yourself up as a leader.
Yeah.
We have combined it a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I think we are going to zoom in kind of like at the technology and the product side as well, how to support that throughout the organization. It doesn't matter whether it's like a one-man company or a bigger corporation. The healthy and kind of like I would say supportive organization matters. Even your own benefit. So if you're running your own business, you need to understand what are the sacrifices you are making, how you are balancing your work, how you are communicating with your maybe partners, suppliers, so on and so forth. So it really matters how you are building the foundation of your company.
Yeah. So we do great time during this course to reconsider what kind shadow you leave behind as a leader.
Yeah, indeed.
I like that one.
Indeed.
And what kind of environment you create. Do people want to work with you or not really?
Exactly.
What do you think about the organizations, and what's your point of view, or what you was thinking when you built up that side of the course? Why do good ideas fail sometimes or pretty often? It depends on the organization, right? Why do they fail? Why do we see them failing?
Yeah, there are definitely tons of reasons. I think what we are going to focus on during this course, I think the main key things here is you can have excellent understanding about technology and then product, but if you are not building the culture and how you as a person think about to your people, to your product, then this matters the most. And I think the main failure is that either people are too deep in the product and technology, they forget about the humanity over there, or how to communicate, what's the culture or what's the kind of like the footprint they leave on the ground. So this definitely is one of the key things why changes are failing. Another thing is that many product managers, they track, I would say, wrong metrics. They track the product features, let's say, or the matrix which showing that my product has X, Y, Z capabilities. But actually what matters is the outcome. What's the value it provides? So you can have really broad portfolio of products, tons of features, but if no one is using or seeing the value, then that's the failure. So definitely going to zoom in during this course to understand how to actually make these bold decisions. And another thing is actually what is actually rational to do, like what is the rationale behind your product and technology strategy, so how you are executing it. So it translates to the people and to the culture and the organization, and how these are really deeply connected.
The way how I have seen or experienced while supporting engineering organization is as well, people are very simple in some ways. The way how we think is very simple. We function much better when we know why we do something, why it matters, and what is the outcome. And critically is how do we handle the situations when we disagree with each other.
Yeah.
Do we keep talking in a most respectful way? Or this is, I think, where the failure starts, when we can't have uncomfortable conversations.
Indeed.
And that needs a lot of trust.
Yeah. Communication, feedback, how you're providing the feedback.
Yeah.
Or how you have built the culture of providing the feedback. I think there are several examples. Netflix is one of the examples we can talk the other day, where they actually build really great culture to provide honest feedback from bottom up, which usually in several cultures, it's kind of like a, you can see that this is definitely the conflict which actually causing the failure. So people are, they don't have a courage to go and say things honestly and not blaming, not finger pointing, but really bringing up, saying that, I think, we are doing wrong, but there are several things what we can actually do better. So, and this information gets listened by the management side. I'm not saying only the C-level, even the product manager needs to accept the feedback from everyone from the organization.
Oh, yeah.
So if you don't accept that, if you don't analyze that, then you're not a good person. You're a good product manager.
Yeah, it's so true. Anyhow, during this course, we definitely touch the Rosenberg module about nonviolent communication, how to express your own thoughts in a way that they sound more like perspective, not as on feedback, and does not push the other people to protect themselves. Going to closing part. What do you think? Who is this micro degree designed for?
Everyone, regardless of your experience in a product area, is definitely we do expect you are having the kind of like a basis already kind of like learned or you do understand what product management means. However, I think mainly we are targeting product managers who would like to step up. They would like to become people managers, for example. So either the senior product managers, overarching the portfolio, or managing the persons, other product managers. Technology leaders, definitely. As nowadays, it's really it's a huge benefit if you are having engineers understanding the product. So engineers, every company pretty much now expects that engineers having a strong product mindset. So they are called product engineers. So they are engineering the product. They are experimenting. They understand where the product goes. Still, however, they need a product manager to show them directions. And I think the last not least, everyone who would like to understand how to set the strategy in that scale. So, what I mean here is that it actually covers two quite complex topics. One is product, and another is technology. As one can't live without other. So you have to understand how to actually build two strategies in a way that it actually achieves one goal, which is the outcome and the value for the customers.
Yeah, and I would add the third, product technology people.
Indeed.
Yep. And we are very much fond of work with you. We are looking forward to work with curious people and to talk about on our course digital product leadership, delivery, and change management.
Thank you for taking your time to listen to the webinar. We had interesting presentations by the lecturers who were telling about the details of what their microdegrees are all about and what you can learn when you participate. And we hope that this created enough interest in coming and joining us at the Estonian Business School. The admission process is currently open, and we hope that you will ask some further questions if there are some things where you'd like to clarify. But if not, then we hope to see you start the studies as soon as possible. So what is the entry requirement? So first of all, you would need to have at least a bachelor's degree in whatever field. And the second thing, what we are also asking for is at least 3 years of experience in either technology, in business, in design, or some related area. And we also wish to see that you're interested in managing digital products, because this is one of the future fields, and we hope that you're excited about this as well. Well, finally, the program is going to be in English language, which means that we also check whether you have good enough English language skills. But you can also do the test at the Estonian Business School if you wish to do so. If you have previously a master's degree or a 4-year bachelor's degree, or at least 5 years of management experience, then there is a possibility for you to use a fast track and complete the program in 1 year. But you're still, well, invited to also take the second year if you would like to get some business foundation in addition. So thank you very much for your attention, and we hope to see you in the classroom.